Instagram. Hang on here. We're waiting for Instagram. Hello, Instagram. Hello, hello. Hello, Instagram. There we go. All righty. All right. Substack. Copy this. Put it here. Boom. All righty. There is Substack. All right. Today I got very delayed. I have like less preparation for today's show. Today I got very busy. I had a conference call with some people who were actually giving me constructive feedback on my show and my account, which was very helpful. But that ended up literally the call went long because it was being helpful. And I was like, So the call ended 10 minutes ago. I was like, no. I mean, it was really, again, somebody wants to help me. I'm like, great, give me advice. But it was still like, I didn't get stuff ready in time for you. I got some stuff ready for you guys. I didn't get as much news today. So we're going to talk about the stories I've got, and then we're just going to hang out more. So, and do questions. Sasha's good. She's hanging in there. She's kind of, we did a decent walk today. So she had a good walk. She's been kind of whiny right now, but we had a good walk today. So, we kind of do a long walk around the block when on her better days. So she was good today with that. Let me get TikTok rolling here. 1 second, guys, and we'll start. So that was good. She's old, it is what it is. But like I said, she's doing pretty well. I'm trying to see where she went. She disappeared on me. Where'd she go? Speaking of my dog, where is she hiding? Oh, hello. Hi, what are you doing? Oh, she was at the front. She was at the front door sniffing for the neighbors. I was wondering where she was. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Hi, what are you doing? So, you guys can't see because you go hear the camera. Oh, there you can see her. She's wandering in. She's like, there's my girl. Oh, poor Paula. I know the UK and actually all of Europe is still melting. Absolutely melting. We going out there again? What do you think? Yeah? Go wander on the balcony. It's not raining. You can go walk. No? All right. She's convinced it's raining on the balcony and it's not. And I keep trying to be like, go walk around. Like if it makes you feel good, go walk on the balcony, you goofball. All right, hold on here. Oh my God. TikTok's doing that thing it does again where it's like a cache problem or something where I try to scroll through stuff and it's very slow. Very slow. All righty. All right, going live on TikTok. Bam. Sorry, YouTube. I hate when I start YouTube and we sit here and we don't continue, but all right. Okay. Anyway, so today was very interesting day. I got some good feedback. Hello, what the hell's that? Oh my God. They redesigned TikTok again. the flip the camera thing is somewhere else. Oh, is it? I think it's this. Hang on. There it is. Oh my God. This is some mute button. That's a pause button. They changed the settings again. You crazy people on TikTok. What is wrong with you? Oh my God. They literally changed voice monitoring. What the hell does that do? Hang on. Use headphones to see how your voice sounds. Okay, there we go. Oh my God. Well, no, they changed the settings on TikTok. The TikTokers like me to be the correct way. It flips things, so it flips it back. But they changed the settings, so it wasn't where it normally is. So I opened it up and went, where is it? Anyway, welcome, guys. Welcome back. Welcome, everybody. John Aravosis here, talking to you about the latest news. We're going to start with Iran, go through some other stuff. I don't have a ton of news today. Today was kind of a busy day for me. Including talking to some folks who were giving me advice with my TikTok account, and that went long, so that was really helpful too. The dog is, I know she's walking. She's also walking around. There we go. She's back again. She's back to the front door again. That was her. My dog is wandering wherever. Anyway, guys, so welcome. As always, I'm going to talk about the latest news, take your questions. Actually, I did give TikTok some feedback today. I told them, I don't know if any of you guys remember, some of you will remember years ago, TikTok had a function where you could, oh my God, and my hair is like little gray hairs are sticking up. Well, you won't be able to see them. TikTok had a function on the app where, actually, I wish the other services would do this too. You could pose questions and you could list your question, and it was great. And we would get like 90 questions from people. And it was great because scrolling through them, they were really, and sometimes people left before I got to their question, but it was still nice because they had posed a question and I could use it later. It was a neat idea. And they got rid of it. And I told her, I was like, that was the neatest feature. Because now, like, it just kind of depends. It was a nice feature. It was, and I really liked it because also, sometimes you left before I couldn't get to all the questions. It was 90 questions. I couldn't get to all the questions, but it was still really useful because even when people left, sometimes they were just good questions, and it was nice for like later in the show. It doesn't matter. It's okay. Anyway, welcome, guys. So yeah, happy Taco Tuesday to those who celebrate. I'm John Aravosis here in Washington, D.C. We're going to talk about the latest news. I've got a few stories I'm going to hit on, and then we'll open it up to your guys' questions, whatever you want to talk about. Good hour or so, we'll hang out and talk. Keep the gifts coming. I very much appreciate your gifts to support my show. So thank you, TikTok, YouTube, etc. I will do a shout out when I can for the TikTok gifts. So thank you for that. At least I do try to do the bigger gifts. So thanks, guys. We can just get rolling. So Trump had his physical today. It was perfect. It was perfect. It was like, okay, sure it was, Mary. Trump is the guy. The first time Trump was in the White House, last time, he, thank you, Sadie. Very nice gift there. Thank you for that. Our community just teared up. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean, Big Pink? I'm hoping that's something good. I have no idea what that means, but what the heck? So Trump, during his first term, had his physical, and his doctor was that Ronnie Jackson or whatever, who became a MAGA member of Congress. And Ronnie Jackson claimed that Donald Trump like grew an inch. Remember, he goes, he's now 6'3". And we're like, 6'3". He was, she smells the neighbors. He's 6'3". That's, my dog is trying to get the neighbors to say hi. But 6'3", and Sasha, hey. She also doesn't hear as well. Oh, she's got her bark. The bark, and it's an annoying bark, but she has different barks. That bark is my dog smells a neighbor who she likes. That's what that bark, my dog is very complicated. That is what that bark is. That's the, oh my God, you're here. Why aren't you playing with me? Come on. That's what that bark is. Yes. It's annoying, but what do you do? But it could be the neighbor. The thing is, there's a garbage can near my apartment, not garbage can. The garbage chute is near my apartment. So anytime the neighbors are throwing out garbage, they've got to come down and be near my apartment, and she can smell it because she's a dog. She can smell everything. So, in any case, so Trump had his physical. During his first term, they claimed after his physical that he was 6'3". So I Googled it and saw that a couple of years before Trump was, mind you, he was like 74 years old at that point. He's 80. And they claimed Trump was 6'3" at like 74, 76. I Googled, and a couple years earlier, they claimed Trump was 6'2". And then I Googled further, and a couple years before that, Trump was 6'1". So it's like, so Trump is the only man in history who, once he hit his 70s, he grew not 1, but 2 inches, right? Now, I learned recently, unfortunately, that you start to shrink as you get older. Like, it's something, by the way, folks, it's true. Get ready for it. Nobody prepared me for this. I went to the doctor a couple of years ago, and they were measuring my height. And I always find it funny when they measure my height. I'm like, wait, I guess maybe the height is for body mass, right? They're trying to get what's posture too, but maybe they're trying to your height versus your weight. And she measures my height, and I said, that's not right. Like, it was like 5'9". I said, that's not right. I'm 5'9.5". She goes, oh, let me see. She measured. She goes, no, you're 5'9". I'm like, I used to be 5'9.5". She goes, how old are you? I told her. She goes, oh yeah. She goes, you start losing your height when you're 40. When you're 40 years old. I thought this was something that happened when you were like 80. Literally. Like, they say you get like old, like grandma is shorter, but she's grandma, right? Like, she's 80 years old or something. Oh no, your shrinkage starts when you're 40. Just to freak you all out. Okay, 40. So I was like, oh, so that I read up on it, and I read that I've lost the amount you typically would lose. Apparently I've got another 1/4 inch to go in principle. And I was like, another 1/4 inch. Okay, I can take another 1/4 inch. I'm not happy about it. Oh, 40. I'm telling you, 40. Supposedly, at least for men, supposedly it starts at 40. And I was like, are you freaking? I was pissed. I'm like, seriously? Oh, right. Your feet get bigger. Your nose gets bigger. Your ears. Well, I don't know whether they do. People think your ears drop like you turn into a Ferengi or something. Oh my God. Anyway, this was many months. This was maybe a year ago. So like I've had time to process it. I was like, are you kidding me? Like what else could happen? They're making me shorter now too. Oh yeah. Crazy stuff. 40. All right. We'll stop with this. Anyway. So yes, Donald Trump did not grow 2 inches in his 70s, but that's okay. Iran. So this happened as we were talking last night. Big deal. Big deal. Iran and the U.S. started firing at each other yesterday. Kind of crazy. The U.S. officials say, "Oh, the U.S. officials say that the ceasefire isn't over." And we're like, well, you and America are firing at each other. It sounds like the ceasefire is not going well. Basically, the Iranians have been were putting mines down in the Strait of Hormuz yesterday. I mean, okay, keep in mind, and we talked about this on yesterday's show, Trump has been claiming since the weekend, Trump has been claiming, oh my God, the negotiations with Iran are going so well. They're almost done. Remember, the White House said this weekend, 95% of the negotiation is finished. It's done. And the negotiations are going so well that Iran yesterday started laying more mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Why would they do that? I don't know. What you doing, dog? Huh? Hey, hello. Hi. Okay. Kind of crazy stuff. So the U.S. and Iran kind of blew each other up. The Iranians shot some drones, like some attack drones against our ships. Their SAM missiles, the surface-to-air missiles, locked onto or tried to lock onto our planes, I guess. So we blew up their SAMs. It was not a good. And apparently, from what I was reading, there were several rounds of them attacking us, them attacking us. Like it wasn't just, oh, they did one thing and we did one thing. It was several steps. So it could have turned into a shooting war again. It looks like it calmed again. Not clear why the Iranians would be laying mines. Now, I don't really trust the Trump administration to be telling us the truth here, right? So, I mean, there's always a chance that, in fact, good, the dog is now, well, she's kind of sitting in her bed. She's not quite laying down in her bed, but that's a little better. So it's always possible Trump's not telling us the truth, but very weird story there. Oh boy. Sneeze. I hate that. Okay, that's better. Oh, well, because the worst part is because I have allergies and stuff. For some reason, either Siri or Google thought that was calling them because it just gave the beeps. That was Google. Google gave the beep sound, thinking I called it. No, that was a sneeze. Thank you, guys. The other news here: Trump is apparently oh God, this is bad too. Trump is softening his position on uranium enrichment now. So Iran, I didn't really realize this the other day. Iran has got some uranium mines. Uranium is used for, nuclear power plants, things like that. It also is used for nuclear weapons, right? In order to use it for nuclear weapons, you've got to refine it. Again, I'm not an expert on nuclear refinement, but the idea is you need, a pure sample, right? A pure sample of TikTok's AI is giving me suggestions. What did it said, try to say this to your audience. So, how you doing tonight? Are you all relaxing or doing stuff? Okay, that was kind of funny. I'm like, so are you all relaxing or doing stuff? I'm like, I guess I could say that to my audience. That's a little weird, but that's why I stopped because it popped up on the screen and I went, that's a little weird. But I appreciate the offer of assistance. So yes, basically to build a nuke, you need to purify the uranium, get rid of impurities. I don't know I want to say also it's probably from what I recall, it's probably an isotope of uranium. Was it 235 and 238? Like you're trying to purify the one. In any case, you need a very specific thing and it has to be very pure, like 90% purity or plus, I believe, to have a nuclear weapon. Iran purified its stuff to the 60% range, which is already very risky because it doesn't take much to get it from 60 to 90 or so that it needs to be for the bombs. So the concern was that Iran was getting ready, right? They were getting closer. They were getting closer to building a nuke. Now, one important point I've told you guys about before, but I think it's important to tell you again because it's a really important point, is people talk about Iran getting close to a nuclear weapon, and I've said this too. You kind of say, well, I'm a little confused. Haven't people been saying for 30 years that Iran is, a year away from building a nuke? How could they be a year away from building a nuke for 30 years? Wouldn't they have built it 30 years ago? And the point is, Iran has intentionally not gone the final step to building a nuclear weapon because they know Israel would blow them up and they know the US would blow them up. And the blowing up could be very bad. Israel has nukes. I think it is certainly possible that Israel would use nuclear weapons against Iran if Iran was on the verge of literally being nuclear, because the concern would be that Iran is going to use a nuke on Israel. And if you think your enemy is going to use a nuke on you, you would use one on them first. It's a very scary situation there. So I think Iran wisely has never gone that final step. That is why you hear people say Iran is, now the Trump people lie. When the Trump people say they're 2 weeks away from a nuke, that's a lie. When they say they're months away from a nuke, they're lying. They're from people, from all the stuff I've read and people I've talked to, it's probably like a year or two. That seems to be what people say, because you've got to build the nuclear bomb. You then have to make it the right size, like make it smaller that you can use it. You've then got to figure out a delivery system. Like, how do you deliver it? Doesn't really help if the nuclear bomb is sitting in a laboratory in Tehran. They don't want to blow it up in Tehran, right? How would you deliver it to another country? Do you use missiles? Well, the missiles could take 10 years to develop. There's lots of possibilities of lots of things that could delay Iran being effectively able to use a nuclear weapon, right? In any case, the point is, let's say Iran's a year away. Let's just use that as an example. Iran, what they don't mean, I mean, I think also the problem is, I think people who have educated you on these things before they told you the truth, but they never explained it well. They kept saying Iran is a year away from building a nuke. No, Iran could build a nuke in a year if they so chose. That's the issue, right? Or Iran could build a nuke in 6 months if they decided to move forward. Not Iran is 6 months away from getting a nuke, because literally it sounds like, oh my God, by November they're going to have one, right? And no, that's not the case. And it therefore calls into the credibility of people going, you told us years ago they were 6 months from getting a nuke, and now we're still 6 months from getting a nuke, so you lied. No. Iran could build a nuke in 6 months. Iran could build a nuke in a year if they so chose, but they've been careful not to go that final step because they know we would destroy them, and the Israelis would. I mean, not just what we did here. I think it would be very bad if people thought Iran was literally going for broke to build a nuke. I think it would be a very bad scenario of what would happen next, because Iran, the government is terrible. It really is. I mean, I was thinking of doing a video on this at some point. I probably should. Kind of the history of Iran and talking about why it is that I say the Iranian government is so bad, because it really is bad. We're not talking nice guys. I mean, the U.S. government's bad today, obviously, but Iran, we're talking a terrorist state, and it really is a terrorist state. So in any case, let's move on. So Trump, the reason I was talking about the uranium is one of the big issues here, right? Iran has enough uranium, whether they could make 10 nukes, 12 nukes, I don't know, but they could make a number of nukes with the uranium if they got to the point of enriching it, if they got to the point of perfecting the bomb. And the concern is, as part of our nuclear deal with them, is to get the uranium away from Iran, have them give up their uranium. Now, Iran was never able to have enriched uranium under the Obama deal. Under the Obama deal that Trump got rid of. Remember, Trump said, well, the Obama deal was bad. It was going to let Iran get a nuke. Well, guess what happened? Trump got rid of the Obama deal, and Iran said, okay, if you're no longer going to constrain us, we're going to go and move towards getting a nuke. So Iran built up a bunch of enriched uranium, the more pure uranium they need to make a bomb, and they decided to develop a bunch of it. Under the Obama deal, they couldn't do it. Under the Trump no deal, after Trump said the Obama deal's dead, Iran said, okay, we're going to get uranium then. Thank you. So Iran now has a bunch of uranium that it could potentially use to build a bomb if it wanted to go one step further. And we need to get rid of it. And Trump's been saying all along that Iran has to turn it over to us. There was a little bit of a fallback of whether Iran could turn it over to the Russians. Well, now Trump just tweeted, or either this morning or last night, because he's an 8-year-old boy, he calls the enriched uranium nuclear dust, because he's a child. Trump, the enriched uranium, nuclear dust. And in case you thought Donald Trump was a mature adult, he writes nuclear dust ! I guess because children do that, right? The enriched uranium, nuclear dust. He's just so bad. Will either be immediately turned over to the United States to be brought home and destroyed, or preferably, we were demanding all along they give it to us, or preferably in conjunction and coordination with the Islamic Republic of Iran, destroyed in place or at another acceptable location, with the Atomic Energy Commission or its equivalent being witness to this process and event. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The Atomic Energy Commission has not existed since the 1970s, so nobody quite knows what Trump is talking about. But also, Barak Ravid, who's a little bit of a Trump whisperer to some degree, he's with Axios, or Israeli reporter with Axios. He's very good. He writes, why it matters what Trump just wrote. This comment seems to signal a softening in the U.S. position regarding the enriched uranium stockpile, and it is closer to the Iranian position on the issue. It looks like Donald Trump caved and is now adopting, or at least getting closer to adopting, Iran's position on the enriched uranium, the nuclear dust, the fairy dust, exactly, Robitaille. He's caving again. He's caving again. He wanted to, he wanted to beat up Iran. He thought Iran was going to cave, and Iran just said no, and now Trump is caving. I mean, of course, and as only Donald Trump can do, he's caving and making it sound like it's what he prefers. So I'm going to read this again. The enriched uranium, nuclear dust, ! Will either be immediately turned over to the United States to be brought home and destroyed, which is what he's been demanding all along, Trump has, or preferably, so now the alternative that Iran wanted is actually the preferable choice according to Trump. Right? Iran is not saying it's preferable that we do it Iran's way rather than America's way. Really? He has to lie about everything. I mean, I first of all, why say preferably? Why not say, all right, we're willing to make a concession, right? We're willing to concede that we do it closer to Iran's way to get rid of the fuel. And now we expect Iran in return to do X, Y, and Z, right? But then use it that way. Don't Iran demanded something. Let's just unilaterally accept what Iran demanded and pretend like it's actually much better. Because Trump always thinks of, how do you lie? How does he get it? He doesn't want to seem weak. So he's got to lie and pretend like when he caves, the cave was intentional. But the problem is, if you cave and it's intentional, then you don't have to, the other guy doesn't have to give you anything. Because Trump just said it's preferable. He prefers to do it Iran's way. Then Iran should say, well, since you think it's preferable, then I guess we're not going to make any concessions because you think this is better for you, what we're doing. So great, right? He's an idiot. Trump Corruption Watch, a Kazakh mining company partly owned by the Trump family, has a $900 million taxpayer-backed line of credit from the Export-Import Bank. Thank you, Christina, for the TikTok gift. A federal agency that subsidizes U.S. companies' overseas dealings. Martin Lane, who is a guy recommended by Ann Applebaum, so he's credible, says newly hacked files offer a glimpse into the Kremlin's propaganda operations. Listen to this. Hackers penetrated the work chats of the Social Design Agency, a public relations firm working for the Kremlin. Listen to this. When synagogues in Paris were covered with green paint by vandals in May of 2025, one of the staffers with the Russian Design Agency reported to a senior Russian official, quote, "The event made the front pages of the global media." He then shared a video of the operatives preparing for the project and choosing the paint. So synagogues across Paris were covered with green paint by vandals. It was the Russian government that did it. Now, we know the Russians do this kind of crap, but it's fascinating to get, hackers were able to get the documents to prove it. In 2025, hundreds of Germans discovered their car exhausts stuffed with construction foam, stickers on their cars declaring "Be greener." A staffer shared a Deutsche Welle, German press article about the operation and reported to the senior Russian official, "They're writing about us." So they're doing vandalism, claiming it's the green movement in Germany. There was also a, this might have been from a different source. Ann Applebaum was sharing this. The Russians were boasting success for two disinformation ops. One, and now this is going to sound familiar to you. The Russians boasted that they planted a fake story claiming Zelensky bought a luxury apartment in Burj Khalifa. I don't know where that is. Anybody know Burj Khalifa? And it reached more than 80 million views. They also planted a fake story accusing the Armenian Prime Minister Pashinyan of buying a luxury villa in Marseille, France, 10.1 million. Oh, Dubai, 10 million views. Now, at the beginning of the war, remember there was disinformation about Ukraine? Oh, Zelensky's buying all these luxury villas and things. And we knew it was the Russians that were saying this. We knew it. That's where it came from. So it's Dubai. Yeah, Cosmos says Dubai. Yeah. Again, the Russians have done this kind of stuff before. It's not surprising that it's what they do. It is surprising to actually get the evidence, which is good. The tallest building in the world. I know I saw a video of it the other day. I know what you mean. Yeah, somebody was visiting Dubai and they had it in the background. Oh, that's what it looks like. That is a cool building. Holy crap. It actually looks like that, Manda? Get out of here. Wow. I may take a picture and try to show. Oh, I can try to. That's actually kind of pretty. Hang on a sec. Let me, where's my camera? Here, I want to try to get a picture of a picture. Oop, a little out of focus. Oh, there we go. Boom. All right. Picture of a picture, but still pretty good. It's a little out of focus. Oh, it's out of focus, but you can see. I mean, it's good. That's pretty cool. Wow. It looks totally fake. That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. Holy crap. You can Google it, but I'm on the phone, so to speak. I'm on live, so I'm going to Google it right now. But that's wild. Wow, that's really pretty. Yeah, I mean, it is I like good architecture, not, Dubai. I'm not convinced I would like Dubai. People go, but I kind of get the feeling the people who like Dubai are the people who like to go drinking and stuff. Like, although granted, well, in Dubai, they do it in hotels. That looked like an AI photo. That really looked fake. Are you sure that's a real one, Amanda? Because it does look fake. Is that what it really looks like? You're sure that's a real photo of it? Okay, wow. She goes, it's real. They're all saying it's real. Wow, that's what it looks like. It looks totally fake. That's funny. That's really funny because it really does look fake. Yeah. No, I believe you. Look for another one, but I believe you. Everyone else is saying that's what it looks like. So, yeah. Very interesting. What else we got here? Oh, there was one final example of what the Russians did. They in September 2025, 9 mosques and Islamic culture centers in and around Paris were targeted. Bloody, severed pigs' heads, each marked with the word Macron, who's the president of France, in blue ink, were left outside their front doors. This was a Russian stunt. They cut the heads off pigs because, of course, like pork and Arabs and Muslims, I should say. Wow. Not to mention also putting the heads out in front of the mosques, which is meant to also just be a threat. It's meant to be, they killed an animal, like it's creepy and kind of a deadly, creepy thing. Wow. I mean, that is quite pretty. It looks like Oz. That's crazy. It looks totally fake, that building. It is very pretty. I'll give them credit. It's a pretty building. I'd like to check out Dubai. I still have a feeling I would find Dubai a little bit too much like rich people going to get drunk. You know what I mean? But who knows? It is very pretty, though. Yeah, the water stuff at the bottom does look pretty. Yeah, very. I mean, anyway, so the Russians. Oh, the Russians. Finally, it sounds like we talked about this yesterday. It sounds like the Russians are getting ready to do a massive attack on Kiev. I mean, they've been attacking Kyiv, the Ukrainian capital, but they were doing this weird thing of, calling Secretary Rubio and saying, "Oh, you need to get your U.S. diplomats out of Ukraine out of Kiev because we're about to bomb everybody and we could kill them." And then, Medvedev. Remember Medvedev? Woo! Or that's French, I think. Woo! Medvedev. Thank you, Kazakh, who's the former Russian president, who's got a little bit of an issue, shall we say. He threatened to kill a bunch of European diplomats today, but it's not even worth talking about because he's the one who, for several years of the war, like every other day, he would talk about nuclear war. And it was just like, dude, go away. Like, I mean, after you threaten nuclear war 3 times a week for 3 years, I don't believe you, right? I mean, like, that would be 450 nuclear wars you've threatened in 3 years. The first one was scary, but the 450th, we're going, yes, Dmitry, you've got nuclear weapons and we're very scared. Yeah. Well, any case, the Russians are making it sound like they may be preparing a devastating attack on Kyiv. What is interesting is the experts are saying, including a reporter at Wall Street Journal I like, saying that Ukraine is just as capable of doing a massive strike on Moscow, a drone strike, although my suspicion is it wouldn't just be drones. Because we know that Putin was very afraid of the Ukrainians basically stopping their little victory parade for May 9th. And we also know the Ukrainians, remember they blew up that general a few years ago? And they used a moped, what do you call it? Thank you, guys. I literally could think of the word in French. I'm being obnoxious. You tap a bomb onto, I would say Piaget. You tape a bomb onto a moped or a motorcycle, scooter. What have you? A moped bomb, a scooter bomb. Yeah, like a car bomb, right? And they put it outside the general's apartment, and he came out at 6 a.m. to go to work, and they blew him up, killed him. I mean, crazy, absolutely crazy. So if I were Russia, I'd be very worried. And they also blew up that cafe. Remember that blogger or whatever was in St. Petersburg? I'd be very worried if I were the Russians about, doing some massive, bombing to really just destroy Kyiv to show them who's who, because then the Ukrainians would respond in kind, and it'd be very interesting to see what they'd be able to pull off. Because I suspect, and the jogger, yeah, Poppy mentioned the jogger. Remember the jogger's funny because, as I recall, he was a commander, or maybe the commander, of a Russian submarine in the Black Sea, so like north of Turkey, south of Ukraine. And the submarine was responsible for a particularly heinous Russian attack on Ukrainian civilians. Might have been the one when they blew up. There's a couple different ones that were shopping malls. There was a shopping mall a little bit east. There was one that was like a town square that was a little bit west of Ukraine, where the little girl's shoes were left. She had a little baby carriage that she was pushing, I think. And anyway, it was one of those. And the Ukrainians basically found that the Russian submarine commander who had launched this attack on Ukrainian civilians, dog wants water. Let's get the dog water, and then we'll continue our good story. 1 second. All right, let me get you water, dog. Let me get you water. Okay. Cool. You get a snack later. The Ukrainians discovered that this very dumb Russian sub-commander, when he was home, he liked to go jogging. And in Russia, maybe the Americans do this too, or the rest of us do this too. In Russia, there's a very popular jogging app, and people they use the GPS or whatever, and it tracks them while they're jogging, and it keeps a record so they can say, "Ooh, look what I jogged today, and here's the path." Well, probably not the kind of thing you should be doing if you're a submarine commander who kills civilians. Well, the Ukrainians killed him. They got him during one of his runs, and that was the end of that. They killed him. I mean, crazy stuff. And I seem to recall at the time reading Strata. Is that the app? That sounds familiar. Yeah. I remember reading at the time that the Ukrainians, and I think it must have been what's his face, right? Who was the head of intelligence and now is the defense minister. Oh my God, I'm totally spacing out. What's his name? Somebody help me out. Mr. Serious who doesn't smile. He did today say something like, tonight did today drain you or energize you? First of all, you wouldn't say tonight, comma, did today drain you or energize you? That's not Budanov. Exactly. TikTok's giving me more suggestions of things to say. Budanov. He apparently wrote, I think it was Budanov, wrote a comment, because you can leave comments, and left a comment for the guy's track that said, thank you. And I don't know if it's true, but I remember at the time, that's what I'd read. And I was like, oh my God. Actually, remember that a similar thing happened with the French. Remember the French, like aircraft carrier, whatever it was, the French aircraft carrier, whatever it was, had some, one of the soldiers was like jogging on the deck, and they were able to, it's not raining. Oh my God, it's not raining. My dog keeps wanting to walk on the balcony, and she's convinced it's not raining. You're fine. And she's convinced that it's raining, and it's not raining. So she keeps having me open the door. She looks, she goes, I don't want to walk out there. Anyway, all right, that's it for the news. Like I said, I did not have as much news tonight, although we still talked well. I did not have as much news as usual tonight. But let's hang and talk. Oh, boy. Oh, my God. I actually slept a little later today. I was able to feed the dog and then go back to sleep. Of course, I'm still tired because, I'm Mr. Tired. Strata app outed underground bunker layouts of U.S. military facilities. Really? Oh, that's interesting. Well, it's a very interesting idea, like using it to basically track, military and stuff, like they were tracking. I know I do. The thing is, I was avoiding a third coffee at this point, I don't know what to do about the morning show. I was saying, if I do a morning show, I was considering doing it 3 times a week. Because when I did it yesterday, I could still feel like it was messing with my voice a bit. So we'll see. I may do a morning show. I was considering doing a morning show to kind of do the morning news kind of thing. The funny part was when I tried it Monday, what are you doing, huh? There wasn't that much news. What are you doing? There wasn't that much news. So Monday we hung out and I'm going through the news going, this is boring. I went, oh, hello, Viking and Viking us in Lithuania. But I was going through the morning news and I was like, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, New York Times. It was boring. So anyway, Sasha, some people are asking if Sasha's better. She's never going to be better. She's old now, walking. Her walking is better and worse depending on the day. It's a little better walking today than before. Like we went for a walk, we went around the block, we came home and she ran down the hallway, which is always a good sign when she runs down the hallway. At the same time, you're kind of like, the dog is old and has arthritis. You don't want her running, but at the same time, you know what? If it makes her happy, what are you going to do? I kind of felt the same way with my mom. I was like, Mom kept falling, but she was 94. Better for her to be able to, if she wanted to walk around the house, let her walk around the house. She's 94. Right? She's going to have a much better life doing that than sitting in bed for, so she's safe all day, CBD might have helped. Hard to know with her, but, I felt bad. Actually, a neighbor's dog, they just had to put the dog down or, put the dog to sleep. 20-year-old, a little dog, like a Chihuahua, I think 20 years old. Ooh. A friend of mine's dog too, after 20 years, I was like, oh my God, anyway, so we'll see. I never did make the voice appointment. I need to. You're right. I got I'm going to write myself. It's a little bit of a pain because it's like I've got to Uber there, but it's stupid not to. And my insurance is at the point now where I've met my deductible. So it would be a reasonably priced appointment. So I should do it. Yeah. Cause last year I was losing my voice and I went to have it tested to see and make sure I wasn't ruining it. And basically it was a combination of probably allergies. Acid reflux can affect your voice because apparently you can have reflux that you don't realize it, but it's just enough that it touches your vocal cords and starts to irritate them without you knowing it. He said he thought that was a big factor. Also possible, he thought that I could use a couple voice physical therapy sessions to learn to speak better, like with you guys and stuff, because it is true. Like I was brought up, I probably was always loud, but I was brought up, I did drama in school and stuff and I always loved it. And I did debate too. And I learned to project. and I know how to, like, I would go on stage to do talks, and I wouldn't necessarily need like in an auditorium, I wouldn't need a microphone. I would be able to talk enough that you could hear me. But if you're, that can hurt your voice after a while. And I should prepare before the show. Like you're saying, practice singing. I should probably before the show, like, la 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 la, like just do something to just loosen my vocal cords, because I don't talk all day. I mean, I talk on the phone, but you know what I mean? Oh, crazy. Wow. Well, I definitely don't have that. Yeah, no. So anyway. Yeah, a voice coach. No, I think it would be well, it was speech therapy. I don't know if it's called speech therapy or not. Speech therapy, I think, is, I have a lisp. I did have speech therapy when I was 5 or when I was 4 or something, 4 or 5. But whatever they call it, it might be speech therapy. It might be. I think it might be voice therapy, though, because it makes me think speech therapy is you can't pronounce your S's correctly. Yeah, speech and language therapy. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You do voice. Okay. So you would say speech, because when I think speech therapy, like when I was a kid, I couldn't do my S's. Z's were not perfect and S's were bad. And I went to speech therapy when I was like 5, and it worked, But I didn't realize so I always think of speech therapy as doing that. Yeah. Speech and language. He said he wants me for the first thing he said for the first one, they like you to come in, and the rest they can do online. So that's good, at least. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to call the guy, because it would be useful, Actually, that I need to do, JTA. I've got to start doing that stuff for my back. I keep forgetting it, actually. Oh, thank you, Vanny. Oh, that's is that not one of ours? Oh, that's not one of our special ones. Is it? Was that one of our special ones? No meteor shower? I keep forgetting. Was that an Ask Me Anything? That isn't Ask Me Anything. Well, if you've got an Ask Me Anything-ish, feel free. You may not have known. That was a gift that allows you, although frankly, you're allowed to ask stuff anyway. No, my suspicion is it depends, first of all. Like, sorry, for me going for the speech therapy thing, it would be learning, are you breathing from up here, from down here? For example, if you're if I'm straining my voice right now, right? I wouldn't talk like that, but my voice is up here right now being strained, right? So a Russia story, I could think of a Russia story. Did Van or whoever say they wanted a Russia story? I could think of one easily. So like it's figuring out how to speak and breathe so that you're not straining your throat more by talking like this. You know what I mean? And I think because I do this with you guys, I do think I'm on stage, and I do worry that I'm trying to project. And when I do, I'm forcing my throat more. And if you force your throat more, after a while, it gets worn down. Yeah. So this is what, certainly actors, Broadway, my God, doing 2 shows a day. I can't even imagine the experience they've got, right? I mean, 2 shows a day. Wow. That's amazing. But again, really knowing how to not screw up your voice, anyway. Oh, this isn't coffee. I've got this is my water cup. Actually, it is a coffee cup, but it's a coffee cup full of water. Anyway, what was that? I was looking here. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah. RFK Jr. No kidding. I don't think I am using a microphone voice. I think I see the microphone, but because I know I'm talking to an audience, I'm still trying to project, and I shouldn't have to project because I don't need to project with you guys, but I think I'm projecting anyway, which is the problem, So that's the thing. Yeah. I told you, like when I was podcasting, I had the microphone and there was no audience. So I would podcast and have a computer screen. And if there's if my eyes are closed and there's a computer screen, then you're thinking you can do a softer voice, right? But if I look at you all, I'm looking at my screen, and I see that you're typing, it's reminding me that more water. It's reminding me that you guys are here, and it makes me want to talk. Oops, stop it. This is falling down. It's making me want to speak louder. More water? Oh my God. I think you want a treat is what you want. That's my guess. That is my guess. No, you can wait for the treats. Just wait. Ow! Somebody wants a treat. Oy, 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 oy. Oy, 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 oy. Anyway, hot water, honey, and lemon. No, you know what I have, which I keep forgetting. I ought to do it during the show. Actually, I could do it right now. Maybe we'll get it right now. I've got these nice. They're a little sweet, but they're these nice. My sister always would get them, and they are very good. And I bought them on Amazon. Let me show you. They're really. I always love when I show products that I don't sell. Like I get nothing for this, but what the hell? It's fun. It's fun to share stuff that I think is useful. So these guys are very good. They're a little too sweet. Okay, they're a little too sweet, but they're very good. And it's ginger tea, and it's dried and in little packets so that it dissolves in water, and it's very good. But it's a little too sweet. I would say it's not great for you. The sweetness is not great for you, so that's an issue, which I'm not a big fan of. But I don't like in the way. I may have one right now because that isn't a bad idea. I'm trying to close it, although it doesn't necessarily need to be closed because each packet is, I can't really close it, but I don't know if it matters. You know what? I should put a thing on it. Add lemon. Oh, that's it. I never thought of lemon and ginger. That's an interesting idea. Now, I'm going to actually make one as we're talking. Oh, 8 to 12 ounces. Wow, that's a lot. See, I don't like because it's going to make me pee all night. 8 to 12 ounces. Wow. Wait, adjust the amount of water. To serve as an iced beverage, add 4 ounces hot water. Oh, then add that. Oh, I see. To serve as a hot beverage, 8 to 12 ounces. Let me do this really quick. 8 ounces. Wow. That's a lot of water. One moment. Okay, there we go. All right. 8 ounces. Oops, that's not what I wanted. All right. Yeah, I don't know. 8 ounces. I forget how. Well, I forget that 8 ounces, like my coffee cup. My coffee cup is this tall. 8 ounces. I always think of 8 ounces as filling a coffee cup. It's really not. It was like a little more than half of that thing. I don't know if I'd want to use twice the water though, because first of all, I do like it strong, and I would worry about it being a little too weak if you double the water. And in the end, you're getting the same amount of sugar anyway. Well, less than a can of pop. I mean, sure, most things in life have less sugar than a can of soda. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's not much of a ringing endorsement, Poppy. No, because she wrote, it's got less sugar than a can of soda. Everything has less sugar than a can of soda. My mother had shown me that when she goes, do you know how much sugar is in those things? And we measure, like we did the math on it. I mean, kind of scary, Just one moment here. Ooh, that's nice and hot. All right. I actually have made my own ginger tea before. That is quite good. But yeah, see the little sachets. That's French too. I guess we wouldn't say sachet because sachet would be like sachet. Right? I don't know what the hell you would call this. Packet? A packet? That works. I don't know why I'm thinking French today. France is on my mind today. All righty. Yeah, then you just pour it in. It mixes quite well. Like I said, it's a little sweet. Would you say a sachet? But would you say a sachet in English? Gunther, would we? A pouch? A pouch, yeah. A pouch or a packet. All right, let's try this now. An envelope of tea. Well, the thing is, it's a little packet of dehydrated tea or something. A sachet, a small bag or packet. A small bag containing a perfume powder or potpourri used to scent clothes. Yeah. Sachet, it's a British term. That's interesting. Well, it's a French term, of course, which also would explain why the Brits use it. I've mentioned this before. There are words that the Brits use that Americans know but don't use because I find they're often words that are French. And that therefore they were more common in Britain, but they were not common here. Oh, that's good. Again, sweet but good. I've made my own ginger tea before. I have done that. You know, you make a nice ginger. Fresh ginger, like almost a simple syrup, but I don't use that much sugar. I do use some sugar or some, honey in there, and then put it in the fridge, and then mix it with water and make your own tea. It's quite good. But this is really, I mean, it's quite strong. Yeah, I didn't use honey though. You said I should use honey. Are you supposed to use honey with it or what? Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's very good. It's not too expensive, actually. If the large one, there was like a lot of packets in it. So it's strong though. Like, you have to be careful because it can potentially make you choke, because ginger's like, whoo. And he says, we in the UK like to steal French words and mispronounce them to annoy the French. Now, yes, I mean, the history from what I was reading, is it making me redder? That's funny. The history I was reading is because of all, and I get very confused by it, that weird France, Britain, king of northern France was Britain's king, and William, whoever the fuck, it confuses the hell out of me. But that at one point, France, maybe they started with Latin, and then French became the official educated, was it William the Conqueror? I'm forgetting, like the official educated language, so that France is sort of, I want to say I thought it moved from Latin to French, that this super educated language, and it therefore brought in a lot of French words. And certainly words that were like the hoity-toity words, some of the smarter words. A Russia story. I have a lot of Russia stories. I'm trying to think though. God. Oh, I've told you the one that, it probably is the best story though, because it's a funny one. We had met, they were great guys when I was in Russia. I actually have to see if I can find the Yevgeny, the guy. But now that Russia's gone bad again, I mean, maybe I can't find Yevgeny, but we were in the Soviet Union, 1984, February of 1984. I was living in France studying. Thank you, Dawn. That's not another story, is it? That UN story. I don't think I have any more. Are you saying that counts as the Russia story? Maybe. Is that what we're saying? Thank you, Dawn. Well, you let me know. Yeah. Soviet story. Exactly. Soviet story. Thank you, Dawn. So we'll go to the Soviet Union, and where did we meet them? I think we met them in our hotel. I'm forgetting this part. I think we met them in our hotel. In the lobby, some Russian boys. We were all like 19, Russian guys, and very nice and friendly. And back then, typically they were black market traders. They wanted to trade stuff. They wanted to trade blue jeans and cigarettes for cool Russian stuff, right? And they weren't dangerous or anything. I mean, Russia was Russia was the Soviet Union, very safe for Americans, very safe crime-wise. So nobody was going to hurt you. But people were afraid to talk to you because they get in trouble, right? A lot of secret police, very much a totalitarian dictatorship, crazy, horrible country. And so people would get into trouble. So people did not want to talk to you. These guys hanging out in our hotel lobby, talking to us, and we're like, okay, weird. And they were not secret police. They were nice guys. They were all, and the best part is, the craziest part, they were all deaf mutes. 3 deaf mute friends who liked foreigners and they liked to trade stuff. And they came there. I was the only one that knew any Russian. I had a year of Russian in school, but I wasn't good at it. My Russian sucks. I always tell people, like, if I got drunk, my Russian was quasi okay, but it wasn't great. But at least I'd studied for a year. I knew basic Russian. Their leader, Yevgeny, knew English to the degree that I knew Russian. And Yevgeny could write, since I had studied Russian, so I could read Russian. He had studied English, he could read English. So we would sometimes write things back and forth. I think he could read lips. So I would say things, basic English or Russian. And we we hung out for the week. He and his friends were a hoot. It was Yevgeny. It was this kind of blonde guy and this goofy little guy who was kind of goofy looking and whatever. No, they were all very nice, but goofy. So we spent the week together. Lots of fun, lots of scary stuff too. They got arrested at one point. Then they got released. And I'm convinced that Yevgeny's father was somebody important because he had very nice clothes, very nice everything, very nice expensive stuff, but was way too brave in hanging out with us. Way too brave in hanging out with us that he had to be connected, right? Well, we're getting towards the end of our trip and maybe 1 or 2 nights left. And we're waiting to get on the bus. And Yevgeny's there. And, he would show up every morning. And so we'd make plans in the evening sometimes, but he'd show up in the morning to meet us before we got on the bus. And or it was the evening we came back for the bus. Either way, they're waiting for us. And we're hanging out. And there was one girl, might have been from I think she was from Boston. I'm forgetting her name. The funny part is she would remember this story. I know, right? I think she was from Massachusetts, from Boston. There was a Canadian guy who was very nice. Donald, maybe, a blonde, nice guy. Kind of serious, or not serious, but kind of straight-laced. And our black market guys are there. And she comes up or he comes up. Either there was a small guy, like Yevgeny was cute. The blonde guy was really cute. And there was another guy who wasn't that cute, kind of frumpy. They're a very sweet guy, but frumpy. And either frumpy comes up to me or the woman from Boston, who was very pretty, very nice woman, put together, 19 years old, put together, and comes up and says, "Oh, can you help?" Because again, I knew some Russian, so somehow I had figured out how to communicate with these guys. And they're, "Can you help?" Because he goes, he's trying to tell me something, and he goes, "Yeah, can you?" I said, "Okay, sure." And he sits there, and he's got his dictionary. And first, I don't know why she couldn't figure out the dictionary, but he's got the dictionary, and he's pulling up a word, and I'm like, "Okay," and he points. I'm like, "Secret." And it's like literally an old dictionary because we had dictionaries back then, right? There were no phones. There's 1980s. Next word. So first word, secret. Next word. And the Russian guy points out nocturnal. And I'm going, in my head, I'm going, nocturnal? Okay, that's a little weird. He pulls up the dictionary again and points to the word intercourse. Secret nocturnal intercourse. And he's asking her if she wants to sleep with him. And I told her, and I'm trying not to laugh because, the poor woman, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It puts her on the spot. And I said, secret nocturnal intercourse. And I said, and I think she looked at me and she went like this. And I said, yeah, I don't understand. I said, yeah, panimayu, or not panimayu. What's panimayu is think. What's I don't understand in Russian? I knew the word back then for understand. I think panimayu is to think. What's to understand? Oh, is panimayu understand? Is it understand? I didn't remember. I'm like, it's been so long that I've done Russian. Panimayu is understand. Okay, yeah, I said yana panimayu, and he's like, and he's looking. He goes secret nocturnal intercourse, and I'm going niet, no. Is it izvinite, no. And she was like, she's like, but I love it. Secret nocturnal intercourse. Oh God. And I mean, the thing is, like, he was not an attractive kid. Yeah, Yanipanamayo, exactly. He was not an attractive kid, which made it worse. You know what I mean? They were all very nice, but he was just kind of homely, so it made it just even worse. And brokering it through me. Oh God, it was funny. But so that was my favorite Russia story. But there were many. There were many. He had an unfortunate face, yes, which did not help. I mean, had he been really cute, I would have been like, hey, go talk to him, whatever you want to do, Rosamia. What is that, Irene? Rosamia. Oh, Rosamia. Does it mean the same thing? Or is it Ukrainian? Oh, it was so funny. Again, I felt bad for him. I felt worse for the woman. I mean, because obviously for her, it puts her in a really weird spot. Again, I would love to meet her someday because she's going to remember. If she hears the story, it's Ukrainian, okay. Because she's gonna know the story. I mean, there's no way she could have forgotten this story. Oh, we got fabulous stuff from them. Oh yeah. I'm trying to think, because I'd gotten stuff late. Most of my stuff I got later, my Russian stuff. I've shown you guys before. The stuff from him was not. That's not true. I got some. I've got like two things. I'm trying to think what else I got from him. I'll show you the two things that I'd gotten from him. Well, one of them was Lenin. Lenin did not have a diamond bracelet on him at the time, but the Lenin was the Lenin that was on his father's like bookshelf. And he stole it. He goes, "Oh, this is the Lenin that's been in my house forever." He goes, "My parents." He goes, "I took it," and he gave me his Lenin. And it was they all had Lenin in their house, and I was like, "Okay, Lenin's pretty freaking cool." And that it's the Lenin that was in your family home is pretty freaking cool. I like that, right? So this was my friend's. So they were always very good at their Lenin. Lenin's pretty freaky, and they're very good at doing creepy Lenin stuff. Like you can see the face. The face is just creepy. They're very good with their creepy. It's very human, for a horrible man. And then he got me a really nice. I'm not going to open it, but it's a really nice nesting doll. But it's got, I think, 9 or 10. I actually wrote up the thing because I've chronicled all my stuff for my nephew. But it was really nice because he also wrote me on the bottom, "Napamyats ot Yevgeny," souvenir, I guess. Like napamyats, I think, is memory or to remember. But to remember Yevgeny, 20th of February, 1984, USSR, which is really neat. So it's a really cute that it was, I love that he signed it now it was nice at the time, but it was nice in retrospect that he actually signed it for me. Really, nice. Well, that was also really cool. He was a nice guy. Like I said, we traded, but he even was like, no, let me sign it for you. It was very personal. Again, Russians, I think like most people, Russians can be lovely people when they're not committing genocide. They can. I've met a lot of nice Russians. Again, they're incredibly hospitable people when collectively they're not doing horrible things. So yeah, Oh, wow. You learned 9 years of Russian in socialist Hungary. Well, then you know exactly what I'm talking about the fact that collectively the Russians tend to do very bad things. Yeah. Well, it's their government, but honestly, kind of like Trump. Do you explain away Trump by going, "Oh, that's our government"? You and I do, but I got news for you. Donald Trump is president and doing bad things because half the country likes it. Maybe it's a little less than half right now, but half the country was happy to do it. Right? Half the country was happy to put him, knowing perfectly who he was. And with Russia, after several hundred years of bad leaders, I'm kind of wondering whether Russia isn't getting the leaders they want. You know what I mean? They always have these kind of leaders, and it kind of makes me wonder at this point. And again, like the Trump stuff, first time was a mistake. Second time, they knew what they were getting, and they were fine getting it. Right? So it's hard to say, "Oh, don't blame my country for Trump." No, you should blame my country for Trump. Don't blame me, but my country, yeah. Oh, you're Ukrainian Canadian. Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, but I don't know that I got much. I'm trying to remember what else I got from Yevgeny. I don't recall now. Actually, I got a hat. The problem is the hat's too small for my head. It's a rabbit. It's very nice, beautiful hat, but it's a little too small. But I didn't want to not get it. It's the only one he had, and I was like, "I'll throw it in. It's okay." But it's a little too small. It's wrapped up inside. But from him, I don't know that I had anything else. I don't think. No, my other stuff there isn't from him. Yeah. I don't think, like I said, I don't think there was anything else from him at this point. I've got other Russian stuff that I got my second trip. I got very nice things too. But, but they're funny. Oh, you're a Russian Canadian too? They're a funny people because, like I said, it's a horrific government, and I still wonder about the Russian psyche to some degree, but you can meet some really lovely people. I mean, we went, once I went back, I went to come, it's funny, having the tea is helping though. Like my voice feels much more relaxed now. It is interesting how it helps. But went back. Do you want to try going there again? It's not raining. It's really not raining. You still don't, she still thinks it's raining. All right. She literally was at the door like, oh, you guys have her down there. But we, what did I give him? I brought, well, we were told what to bring because everybody knew back then. Marlboro cigarettes and Levi's blue jeans were the big thing to bring. The big thing to bring. And I brought Marlboro cigarettes, and I think I had an extra pair of Levi, or maybe even had my mom send some from the States. But I brought some Levi's blue jeans. Those were the two things that I brought. We also had, I have many Soviet stories. We also had French chewing gum. That's exactly WC. You wrote that right after I said, right before I said it. We also brought French chewing gum because I didn't have any American because I was in France. But the funny part was the French chewing gum was called, the popular one at the time was Hollywood chewing gum. So it was perfect because it was Hollywood, like as America was the pinnacle of good stuff you could get in Russia. But I don't think we brought anything else. We brought dollars too. So sometimes you might use dollars to trade as well, to buy stuff. Yeah, I still might try the morning thing. We'll see. Adult slime. I don't know. Yeah, the Russian gum story is fabulous. I'm not going to tell. That's too long of a story for tonight. And I don't want to tell all the stories. But the Russian gum story was absolutely fascinating. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was, went back to Kamchatka a couple years later, or 10 years later, right after Russia became free, like 2 years, it went back in 1993, I think, 2 or 3. I've got it in my notes. Because I actually sort of wrote up notes of all my things, like these kind of things, so that eventually when somebody inherits them, they'll know the story. Because potentially, it's less, I mean, if you go, oh, okay, Matryoshka doll, that's nice, right? Did he buy it here? Did he buy it there? Now you know exactly when I got it, what the trip was, who this guy is. Like it was the peak of the Soviet Union. It just makes it much more interesting of a piece. And of course, I kind of like the fact that it yellowed. The lacquer yellowed, but it kind of yellowed in an interesting way over the years with it oxidizing, But anyway, it's a fun. But no, they were nice guys. I really liked them. Yevgeny, so funny. Oh well. Anyway, what else, guys? Anything else? The ginger tea is good. I'm just a little afraid of peeing all night. I don't like having tea at night for that reason. Oh my God, I hear you are being a Weinekins again tonight, aren't you? Although I think she's whining a bit because she wants a treat. It's hard to know. Am I glow in the dark now? Well, that's true. You want to get, yeah, well. Anyway. In Western Europe, American products were nothing special like it was in the East. Yeah, I mean, U.S. fashion was still in the 80s. The early 80s, though, Levi's were still very expensive in Europe. I remember that compared to America. I do remember that. Otherwise, I don't know. But I think Levi's had a certain cachet, as I recall. I'm trying to remember now, to be honest. But I think so. Marlboros were very well loved. They were expensive. Sneakers, maybe. I don't remember. Probably. I just don't remember. Levi's are still hot. Levi's definitely had their cachet, and they were much more there. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, all right. Well, we could wrap it up. Yes, I did see they were putting up the fighting craziness at the White House thing. Yeah, well, sneakers. We say gym shoes, but sneakers, yeah. Midwest, let's say gym shoes. All right, hello. Now she's back in her bed again. All right, I'll get you your treat. I'll get you your treats, my pretty. But I gave her a CBD again twice today, so we'll see. I don't know if it's helping. It can't hurt. I mean, well, hopefully it can't hurt, but, we'll see. Anyway. Anyway, gym shoes and pop, exactly. Well, gym shoes are what we called sneakers. Again, it just sounds so funny to me here. Acupuncture for a dog? Yeah, you never know. No, I mean, like I said, she's hanging in there. I just feel bad, like I said, because she's not bad, but it's just she doesn't walk perfectly anymore. Although it depends on the day. Some days she walks really well. Other days she walks and she's just got a little, maybe hobble is a word, whatever. You can just tell like her back where her hips are is hurting a little because she's walking a little funny, basically. But she's not like limping, but still it's hurting a little, obviously. So, anyway. All right, guys. Well, maybe we will call it quits here. We're almost time to end the show anyway. This drink did help. I'll have to consider doing that for the shows, Only thing is I don't want that much sugar every day because it still is a lot of sugar, or I make my own ginger tea, which I can do that again. But it does help though. Yeah, I can tell it. Or I get hot water, and I sip warm water, like you said, with warm water with honey and tea, It's not a bad idea because I can tell it feels calmer, which wouldn't be a bad thing to have when I'm doing the show, that my voice, the vocal cords feel more relaxed, Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to sign off. So thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you for the gifts and all. Thank you, mods. Honey is still sugar, I know. Well, the only thing is, but when I put honey, I can judge how much I put in. This has a lot of sugar. That's what I don't like, this thing. I'd rather judge on my own how much sugar I put in. Like I actually found, I hear you. I found the other day, you guys can see see. Oh, you can see the YouTube folks, or you guys can see. She literally is begging now. Now she's here. She's I think she wants her little treat she gets after the show. She's totally wanting her treat after the show. Okay, I hear you. That's why I don't always think it's a pain wine. Nino she wants a treat. That's exactly it. That's a treat wine. That wasn't a pain wine. That's why it's so hard to tell with her, because and it's, I'm old, I'm frustrated, it's time for me to get a treat. You're still talking, but I'm also old, right? It's like, it's a combination of stuff going on with her, Anyway, yes, how you call a sneaker? Yeah, we say gym shoes. Tennis shoes, people call them too. Now people are very specific about what kind of shoe, but growing up, people said tennis shoes, gym shoes, or sneakers. There might have been another word. I don't remember for that. Anyway, all right, I'm going to sign off though. Well, I've got tea leaves. I've got that. I could just make tea, I could certainly do that. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to hang up, but I will see you guys tomorrow. So thank you for joining. Our usual, same bat time, same bat channel. And I might do the morning show. Let's see. I don't know. I might do the morning show. We'll see. All right. Have a good night, guys. Discord, you're first. Bye, guys. All right. YouTube, Substack. Bye-bye. Instagram too. Bye, guys.